Good morning, everyone. Here's your Mormon news update for October 14th, 2024. First off today, floodlit.org has learned of a new wave of 91 child SA lawsuits filed against the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in California. Starting on August 26th, the Slater-Shulman LLP law firm filed 91 civil suits in 26 California counties, each on behalf of a different survivor who says a Latter-day Saint official, employee, or other leader SA'd them and that the church failed to protect them from harm. In all, the lawsuits accused 97 former Mormon leaders and church members, including 20 bishops, 20 elders, 8 missionaries, 5 high priests, 6 teachers, 4 counselors, 3 youth leaders, 1 stake president, and 30 other leaders/members. On September 6th, the law firm submitted a petition for coordination to the Riverside County Superior Court, requesting that it consider the 91 separate lawsuits as coordinated actions. The petition said more lawsuits may be included in the future. On October 8th, the Mormon Church filed a notice of removal to the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California, requesting that the lawsuits be removed to federal court. Floodlit.org is requesting copies of court records for each civil case. An initial review of 10 of the lawsuits showed that in each case, Mormon officials allegedly covered up or failed to report to law enforcement. In 3 of those cases, SA allegedly took place in a bishop's office at a Mormon church building. Floodlit will continue to follow this story and provide updates at floodlit.org. Now we will go to the ex-Mormon subreddit, where there's a picture of a Mormon church that was damaged in Florida during the most recent hurricane. It seems the steeple was blown right off the top of the building, causing many to wonder, if God cares so much about steeples, why did he allow this to happen? And for those of you wondering what I'm referring to, the Mormon church is currently in legal battles in various towns across the U.S., trying to defy zoning laws so it can build large temples in residential areas, and the LDS Church is asserting that steeples need to be large and ostentatious for them to be able to worship properly and turn their eyes to God. Now let's briefly talk about the series The Chosen. From their website, they say it is a groundbreaking historical drama based on the life of Jesus Christ, Jonathan Rumi, seen through the eyes of those who knew him. Set against the backdrop of Roman oppression in 1st century Israel, the 7-season show shares an authentic and intimate look at Jesus' revolutionary life and teachings. Dallas Jenkins is the creator, director, co-writer, and star of The Chosen. Yes, the star part is a joke. Dallas made his first independent feature film, Hometown Legend, at the age of 25. In the 20-plus years since, he's directed and produced more than a dozen feature and short films for Universal, Lionsgate, Pure Flix, Hallmark, and Amazon. The Chosen is based on the true stories of the Gospels of Jesus Christ. It's based on them. Some locations and timelines have been combined or condensed. Backstories and some characters or dialogue have been added. However, all the Bible and historical context and any artistic imagination are designed to support the truth and intention of the scriptures. Viewers are encouraged to read the scripture and the Gospels. I gave that background because of the following ad that was seen on KSL yesterday. It says, if you love The Chosen or are just interested in being part of a great outdoor experience, grab some plain bed sheets and safety pins at Dollar Tree and come in a toga over your clothes and come feel the Spirit as you sit and participate in a live reenactment of the Sermon on the Mount. Costumes are optional, but it would help to create more of a time period biblical feel. Location will be in the Provo Rock Canyon Park at 6:15 p.m. tonight, which was yesterday, and it will be about 40 minutes with a linger afterwards. Text for all the details. Please only text if you're actually going to come tonight. We need a good count on how many people are coming. Thanks so much. So it appears they are doing live reenactments of the Sermon on the Mount in Provo occasionally. And now to the Salt Lake Tribune for an article that says the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will pay $289 million in cash for a massive addition to its expansive empire of farmlands, further bolstering the faith's position among the largest U.S. agricultural landowners. The purchase through subsidiary Farmland Reserve, set to close Wednesday, will fold into its vast real estate portfolio 46 farms covering a total of 41,554 acres in Arkansas, the Carolinas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Oklahoma, as well as in Florida and Nebraska, where the Utah-based church already has large land holdings with rich farming operations. The Faith's nonprofit farm investment company has made a spate of similarly large purchases since 2018, solidifying it as a key player in the U.S. farm sector and a leading landowner in several states, part of overall holdings of food-producing farms and ranches worldwide amounting to about 2.5 million acres or more. The seller in this deal, a Denver-based real estate investment trust named Farmland Partners, Inc., says in a statement it would use cash from offloading the collection of farms, about a fifth of the acres it owns and manages, to pay down debt, make additional acquisitions, and deliver value to its stockholders. Doug Rose, CEO of Farmland Reserve, in a statement lauds the acres it is buying across the central and southern U.S. as a unique portfolio of high-quality farmland and says it is grateful for the chance to buy the tracts. We're also gratified they saw us as the right buyer for these properties and the farmer-tenant relationships that come with them, Rose says. As an investor with a long-term vision, we look forward to leasing these productive farms to local farmers for many years to come. In response to a Salt Lake Tribune inquiry, Rose offered an additional comment relayed through a church spokesperson. By investing and operating wisely, Rose said in the statement, the returns earned by Farmland Reserve and Ag Reserves are available to support the mission of the church and its religious, humanitarian, educational, and charitable good works. Speaking of good works, let's see what the church newsroom has to say about service that its members, not the church, are rendering. Before Hurricane Helene struck the United States on September 26, 2024, Carolyn Ward of Fairview, North Carolina, felt disillusioned by the negativity she saw in the world. After the powerful storm brought 5 feet of water through her home, which in turn brought the helping hands of many on October 5th and 6th to clear away the muck, she saw another side of humanity. I have seen the best in people in the past 5 days, Ward said as she stood among the debris of her damaged home. It's made me feel better about the world in general, even though I'm standing in absolute chaos. I feel better about the world right now than I have in a long time. Ward was among the many residents who received help from 6,172 Latter-day Saint volunteers from 400 congregations in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and the Carolinas. These volunteers traveled to various parts of Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina to assist in the relief efforts at more than 3,000 homes. Through coordination at 11 command centers throughout the region, they spent more than 77,000 combined hours mucking out flooded homes, clearing debris, removing downed trees, and tarping roofs. I think this is a good reminder that the members of the church are often the salt of the earth. Wonderful, good, hardworking people who really do want to love and serve. Let's read what one Redditor had to say about this article. He said, my wife read this article this morning. Her reaction was funny to me. They conveniently left out that they only helped other members, at least in the Augusta, Georgia area. I'm still friends with most of the members and helped them out. Before, she never would have caught the subtle lies. Now she's starting to see. I love it. The so-called church can't even do a good deed and tell the whole truth. We're heading out this weekend to do more. Maybe it'll be strangers this time. Also, the man that pseudo runs the cleanup here is truly salt of the earth. He'd help anybody and has been all week, just not under the banner of the so-called church. And now let's go to a quote from J.A. Winter that helped me deconstruct and become a better parent after I left the church. It says, perhaps some of you can recall being taught not to make a mistake. The quote, be ye therefore perfect, comes to mind for me. Maybe as a child you were playing with something interesting, some possession of one of the big people. In your efforts to find out more about it, you broke it. You learned that grown-ups' playthings were considerably more fragile than your blocks, and there was also a chance that you were punished. In other words, your efforts to learn were rewarded with a spanking, and the association between mistake-making and pain was set up. In some cases, it is not even necessary for actual pain to occur. The threat of pain is sufficient to alter the child's conduct. If you were told, don't do that, you'll hurt yourself, you certainly weren't encouraged to learn. We suspect that this business of learning followed by punishment, or threat of punishment, has something to do with the creation of the so-called inferiority complex. The person who feels constantly inferior to everyone else, who insists that everyone else is superior to him, has been taught, I think, and feel that that way. And what better way could he be taught such a self-deprecating attitude than by being constantly corrected? He tries to do something and a fond parent says, "No, darling, you're making a mistake. That's wrong. You should do it this way." The parent is sincerely trying to help, but a constant repetition of such help will also teach the child that he's wrong, that someone else is right. There is a lot to unpack there, but as I've said before, part of my journey out of the church was realizing that God, how I was taught him through the Mormon church, was not a very good parent. And that's your update for today, folks. I absolutely hope you have the day that you deserve.